Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to the counter side video. Alright, so a couple of days ago we managed to check out this new awakening character, Maestro Nequitia. She's probably one of the most interesting concept in terms of design of an awakened character that I've seen in the game thus far. So kind of curious to check out her skills, and today fortunately we have that for you guys. If you guys are not aware, Nexon has this forum where they post all of these, you know, basically skills or patch. Their patch lists are usually much more longer than what C server got. As you can see, there's much more details into the characters. They even provide the GIFs for them individually. So we're going to check out all these updates via the pridewind.co because that's already translated. And you can see it seems like there's a new event and going on, there's that new ship that we have all been talking about as well. So let's jump into it. Now, first things first, really interesting concept of an awakened character because Maestro Nequitia, her deployment cost is 7 as opposed to most characters 6 deployment cost in terms of awakened characters. So that's actually quite high. It's definitely on the higher side. As you can see, she's both a counter and a CO, a combination of these two characters. So a counter and CO, if you guys are not aware, some characters do deal bonus damages to CO type units, including Orca. That's one of the few that I can think of, actually. Just Orca, maybe? I know that Orca definitely deals a lot of damage to the replacer in general. But yeah, as you can see, she's also tower type, and she can attack both air and ground, which is good. This is something that's very beneficial. Movement type is ground. So let's have a look. Basic attack, Song of the Dead. After being deployed, slowly start advancing towards the center of the battlefield, ignoring enemies. What does it mean by ignoring enemies? Like if there's a rhino coming, it just ignores it? What? Enemies on the battlefield except the boss will gain a stack of a debuff every 8 seconds, making them lose 0.1% of their max HP per second, 0.2% in the gauntlet. The effect can stack 10 times. Whew, what? That's pretty crazy. So every 8 seconds, they will gain this debuff of stack. So the longer she survives, the more HP per second damage she will deal. So I guess she's similar to Awakened Yuna in the sense where Yuna deals, I think it was 2% every time she's on the battlefield as well. But as you can see, at level 2 to 4, gains 40% movement speed in total. Level 5, enemy gains a stack of debuff every 6 seconds instead. That is a lot of burning damage per second. So I can see how she counters very tanky units in general. Like she just straight up counters them because she just has to be there on the battlefield. But at 7 cost though, it seems a little bit expensive though, right? So let's have a look at what else does she has. Passive. Summons a Rose Musician every time she crosses a certain distance that grants additional effects to the Song of the Dead. Ooh, what just happened? Raven Ralph, thanks for joining the Lolly Club. Each Rose Musicians debuffs enemies with minus 1.5% attack, plus 1.5% damage received, minus 5% healing effectiveness. Those effects are also applied to bosses as well. So bosses get those as well. I was a little bit right, I guess. So she does summon something. Apparently this thing is called Rose Musician. Every time she crosses a certain distance. And yeah, it's a debuff sort of unit. At level 5, gain immunity to damage for 5 seconds when her HP falls below 50%, when her HP is half. Okay, so let's have a look. Passive. Elysium Philharmonic. So she has 2 passive. Pretty interesting. So can't be healed, but also can't be affected by sleep, stun, knockback, confusion, hit stun, and attack speed reduction debuffs. But her defense can be reduced. So in terms of like stats reduction, she's only immune to attack speed reduction. So she's not immune to, let's say, a defense reduction from Chifuyu, for example, or maybe attack reduction. So Elysium Philharmonic employees gain 5% attack and 10% crit. Their skills generate additional note. This effect doesn't apply to Maestro. Alright, so again, they gain 20% attack and 40% crit at level 5. They also gain 25% skill haste. So far, the only Elysium Philharmonic units that I know from this same faction is Sheena, so the violin girl, right? That we have checked out on the channel before. We have actually made a video of her quite a while back, so she's not exactly a new unit in KR. So ultimate skill, the skill can be cast only when Maestro reaches center of the battlefield. So her ultimate skill is quite unique. It depends on where she is on the battlefield. After casting the skill, she adds 5 stacks to the Song of the Dead, increases the power of the debuffs by 40%. Wait, Song of the Dead is this one, right? The one that she every 6 seconds, she gains 0.1% max HP per second burn. So she straight away gained 5 stacks. So 0.5%, which is quite a lot. Start moving towards the enemy ship where she becomes immortal for 25 seconds. Whoa, she's immortal for 25 seconds. So I think she's like a siege concept here. So if you place her in the middle of the ship, she will slowly move towards the enemy ship. She will be immortal for 25 seconds. That is crazy. Can you remove this buff though? I think this is similar to Veronica's buff in terms of immortality. Once the immortal effect ends, the Song of the Dead ends with it. Level 5, the power of the Song of the Dead debuffs increase by 300%. Wow, that is really cool. I like the concept for sure, but it's just like, we gotta see how she performs in PvP. There's a lot of things that, there's no mention that she gets immune. She's immune to Nayubin burn because she's still a tower type, right? So I think Awakened Nayubin still counters her. Based on what I'm reading in the skills, it doesn't mention that she's immune to any sort of burn effect. And let's have a look at the next one, Morse. Okay, so I'm kind of excited for Morse as well because she's apparently one of the few defenders that are released that I believe might be meta. So as you can see, she's a Mech and CO type again. Defender, 4 costs, she's an attack ground movement, movement type is ground as well. So the last basically meta defender that we have on C server, on our server, is probably Serapel. Let's be honest, right? We have Liumi, we have Serapel, and they are still strong till today. Like in terms of the defenders that's like SSR, there are a few other defenders that gets released later on after the 2 that I mentioned. For example, Replacer Knight, right? She's not really that strong, she's not exactly meta. We also have the KC Bean, which is a lolly. She's also not exactly meta. But yeah, Liumi and Serapel is still by far the strongest defenders that most players can have in the account. So I'm hoping to see that Morse might change that moving forward. Attack the closest target with her halberd for basic attack. Rages when one of her allies dies. Increase her own max HP by 10%. Up to 100%. This effect isn't triggered when summoned allies die. This is interesting. The passive is really interesting. If somebody on your team dies, she gets 10% max HP. But it doesn't make sense if you think about it because she's a defender. You put her in front. If you have a ranger behind her, she would die first. There's no way that the ranger behind her would die first. Unless, there's a few scenarios that I can think of. Unless you put her in the rush team, then everybody goes together with her. Like you put like somebody in front of her, like a couple of strikers before her. So therefore she will get very, very tanky. Or you can deploy her and then you put like an Ingrid or a Kang behind the enemy and try to combo, make sure that everybody dies in the process and she will get the stack. Apparently she also gains a 5% defense stack as well, max up to 50%. So for special skill, deal AoE damage to the closest target, knocks them back, and damage enemies takes 15% increased damage for 10 seconds. Ooh, that is insane. 15% increased damage? I actually like this. This might actually be a good PvE skill, right? If you think about it, most defenders, they only tank. Serapel, Liumi, they mostly only tank. But if Morse is actually as good as they mentioned, I hope that, you know, this 15% increased damage is going to work well on bosses, like maybe on Brita or what's a new raid boss again, Inhibitor raids. Maybe they will take increased damage. That will be pretty pog, alright? So every time Morse is damaged 23 times, specifically 23 times, that's so specific, she deals damage to nearby enemies, knocks them back, restore 10% max HP, gain 10% damage resistance for 10 seconds. After that, immediately use the special attack. Wow. Wow, wow. So at level 5, restore 20% max HP instead. That is pretty cool actually. So when she gets a fixed number of attack hits, she restores her HP and also increase 10% damage resistance for a brief period of 10 seconds, which is like not too bad. I would say this is a pretty good skill that will make her tankier. I'm not sure if this will make her tankier than Liumi or Serapel. Obviously her stats have to matter as well, so right now we can't see any stats yet, but I'm not surprised if she will eventually replace those two, right? So let's have a look at the last character that I am most excited for and I believe most of you guys are here for, which is Kang Rearm. Alright, so again, she's still 2 costs after Rearm. I actually do appreciate this. I feel like she doesn't need to have a cost increase. So passive, she can be deployed anywhere. Okay, makes sense. She knocks back, push enemy backwards, summons Shieldman. At level 5, summons Stronghold instead of Shieldman. At level 10, skill deals true damage? Dang! true damage ignores defense of the enemy, right? So that means she will be able to easily kill tankier snipers, alright? So no matter how much defense your sniper has, it will take that as a 0 and just deal true damage, which is something that's really strong, really broken. Good to see that on her actually. So now she has a special skill? Wait, so are they changing one of her skills? Like, is it they're changing this particular skill? The buff effect thing? So let's have a look. Call for support from air deals AoE damage around the enemy. Damage targets have their skill sealed for 5 seconds. Okay, so she has a special skill now. Every 30 seconds cooldown. At level 5 cooldown reduced. At level 10 after the skill seal ends, if that target was a counter, the target will lose 15% attack debuff for 4 seconds. So she's just a counter killer, I guess. So passive skill. So uses her experience of fighting, decrease surrounding soldiers damage taken by 20%, increase their attack by 20%. So at level 5, gain 20% increased HP. Level 10, gain 30% anti-sniper damage. Also, the levels in between give plus 30% anti-counter damage. Okay, so she still have this skill. So I'm guessing they are replacing this skill. The buff changes to soldiers, damage, rest, and attack. Leader skill. Increase ally soldiers crit by 400 for 8 seconds after being deployed. So that will become 12 seconds at level 5. So she does have very good... She still buffs soldiers in a way. Still fits in soldier teams, which I do like. But man, this is a pretty insane stuff going on, alright? Not sure how this will affect her in PvP. For sure, she's still going to be good, right? True damage now, I feel like in the meta of PvP, there's no way you don't use a Kang. Like every team will need a Kang, for sure. If you play PvP, she's like a pretty much staple. By now, like everybody knows she's just so good. Whatever week that she's free, everybody has her on the team. It's just how it is. She's one of the like soldier sort of unit that fits well in every single team, right? So I think she's well known for that. Okay, last but not least, Chorus Armored Ship. Okay, so the ship has been changed slightly compared to the League. Okay, so give allies 8% attack speed, 25% crit damage. Alright, that's pretty cool. Before this, I think the initial one was 40% attack speed. So now it changes to 8% attack speed, 25% crit damage, which is still not bad. Everybody, because think about it, right? This is a universal buff. It doesn't only buff counter, it doesn't only buff soldier, it doesn't only buff max, it buffs everyone. So that means this ship is like a multi-purpose ship. It fits well into every team, if you think about it, right? If you like to run a mixture of maybe soldiers mixed with max, mixed with this, then you can, everybody benefits from the buff, which is pretty crazy. Alright, special skill, giving them 50% evasion for 10 seconds. Elysium Philharmonic employees gain an additional 600 evasion and the buff cannot be dispelled. Oh, very cool. The 600 evasion cannot be removed. I like it. Ultimate, fires a sound wave, dealing damage. Decrease enemies hit by 50% and attack speed by 30% for 10 seconds. Ooh, this is one of the most punishing debuff I've ever seen. This is by no means going to be that good on PvE, but on PvP, this counters Replacer King for sure, right? Think about it. Replacer King is all about attack speed. He is all about attack speed, and you ultimate this, his attack speed just reduced significantly, alright? And his hit reduced significantly as well. It also counters almost everyone. But yeah, overall I do like it. It's a very good PvP ship, but in PvE we'll have a look at it. But hey, what do you guys think of the skills for Kang, Rearm, or maybe for Morse, or maybe for, you know, the new Awakened Maestro Nequitia? Are you guys excited, hyped for them? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.